Aid has been further delayed, possibly affecting Pittsburg State students.
Plus, Pitt State's tuition prices have increased. We'll see how that is affecting students.
A local coach moved from California to Pittsburgh to follow his brother. We'll learn why those chose to come later.
Caps 13 News starts now. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Butler.
And I'm Mitch Adams. The federal student aid program application is delayed until October 10th. I talked to some people on campus to get more information about what this might mean to students. With FAFSA forms causing issues for students on campus, Pittsburg State is doing their best to help smooth out the process of receiving financial aid. Jamie Rink, the director of Pitt State's financial aid department, told us about some prior issues with student finances and gave information about this year's process compared to last year.
But 25-26, they will stay in line with the same format, so it shouldn't be quite the heavy lift that it was this year.
Zach Shelby, a media production major at Pittsburg State, said that when it comes to issues with the FAFSA, it has gotten easier with the implementation of new systems.
When I first started at Pitt, I remember it was a lot harder to do it than it is now, but I have noticed that recently more and more people are not receiving their full funding or in a timely manner, and that's, I'm sure, pretty stressful, but as long as I stay on top of getting it turned in time, I haven't had too much trouble.
With the opening of the form not being on the normally scheduled October 1st, some delays in receiving financial aid could be possible. Some tips to help prevent delays are getting the forms turned in as soon as they open and visiting a financial aid representative on campus for any further help needed. Reporting in Pittsburgh for Caps 13, Mitch Adams.
News stations near Pittsburgh and Joplin are searching for young talent, and students are becoming their prime hires.
When talking about news, the pace
Motivated
is
youth
fast.
with a passion
Alongside
for
today's
journalism are
shifting
finding
media
new
landscape,
mentorships,
news reporters need to
internships,
rely on
and
the
more
resources
importantly,
around them.
jobs.
One mentor
While earning their degrees, these local journalists can gain fast-paced, hands-on experience. Stations like KSN 16 are helping bridge the gap so these recruits can serve their communities. Highlights the importance of how they are getting involved.
You could come in and just push buttons, but where's that going to get you? Just pushing buttons. But if you want to go on to do bigger and better and more, you have to pay attention. Get involved in the newsroom. And my motto is for anyone, work for the job you want, not the job you have.
These opportunities are an essential head start for building their careers. Those interested can connect via various campus resources or begin the enrollment process online at pittstate.edu.
Pitt State has always tried to prep students for the jobs that they will eventually work. We are joined live by our reporter, Zach Shelby, who found out how journalism students are being assisted. Zach?
Thanks, Mitch. Local journalism students are taking the lessons they're learning inside of classroom and making impacts outside of the classroom.
When talking about news, the pace is always fast. Alongside today's shifting media landscape, new news reporters need to rely on the resources around them. One mentor at Pittsburg State University is busy prepping the latest and greatest of broadcast students with both the skills and the smarts. Dr. Kate Allred. Being the assistant instructional professor, she also prizes her times before becoming an educator and what led to that.
So when I worked at KSN and KODE for nearly 7 years, new young reporters coming in, just not understanding even the basics of how to format, etc. And that's okay. Just trying to open their eyes to the possibilities.
Even before KSN, Dr. Allred was a student worker at KGCS-TV at Missouri Southern State University, gaining interest and insight into creating captivating media. Current MSSU student and KGCS worker Darren Zustiek also found his passion for broadcast journalism in the area. But it wasn't always that way.
Because as a kid, watching the news, never really had an interest in it. And so essentially all the way from middle school to almost like the beginning of college or beginning of high school until Brad Douglas, he had the JHD program. And then I got more interested in news, and then I started watching news like outside of just me finding it on some website.
So although each reporter's path to the newsroom is unique, joining in journalism requires dedication to a strong foundation, hands-on experience, and embracing the journey, not just the destination. Reporting for Caps 13, I'm Zach Shelby.
Back to you, Mitch.
Thank you, Zach. A new grant from the National Science Foundation is brought to Pittsburg State to support STEM students. The Lewis Stokes Alliances for Minority Participation grant supports undergraduate researchers of all types, but is targeted for underrepresented groups. According to campus officials, the grant will bring a stipend of up to $2,500 to qualifying applicants.
Great question. So we've had a lot of undergraduate research on campus, which if you've been to the research colloquium in April, you'll see that students want to engage in this research. So this is an additional funding mechanism for our students to be involved in research, but also goes one step further.
The grant is projected to bring nearly $500,000 to Pitt State's campus and STEM students. One of the biggest roles that the grant will play is the funding and the future mentorship and study of scientific professions.
Coming up next, rising tuition costs affect students. That and more after the break.
Hey gorillas, flu season is almost here. Let's hear from Taylor at the Student Health Center on the importance of getting vaccinated.
We really want to express the importance of getting your flu shot this year. We have seen a number of COVID cases on campus, so we want to make sure that students are staying healthy and safe and being able to participate in all activities. So here's your yearly reminder, make sure you get your flu shot. It is available for all students, faculty, and staff starting at the end of September.
You can get your flu shot today at the Bryant Student Health Center.
Helping save the environment and on water/power bills around the house can be very easy. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, over half of the water usage in a house is done in the bathroom. So a couple of ways you can fix that is to turn off the tap when you're brushing your teeth or shaving, taking showers instead of baths, and taking shorter showers. To save on power, some simple ways are to unplug stuff you are not using at the time, do laundry with only full loads, and wash with cold water instead of hot water. For more ways to conserve resources, go to EPA.gov to find out more.
Choking can happen anywhere, anytime. If someone can't speak, cough, or breathe, you need to act fast. The Heimlich maneuver could save a life. Stand behind the person, wrap your arms around their waist, and make a fist with one hand. Place it just above their belly button, grasp it with your other hand, and give quick upward thrusts. Continue until the object is expelled or they can breathe again. Remember, every second counts. Learn the Heimlich maneuver today. You could be a hero.
Pittsburg State has announced that it will be raising tuitions for current and future semesters. We head across campus with reporter Jacob Boatwright, who has the story. Jacob?
Thanks, Nick. With the tuition increase, several programs have been put in place by the staff to help students in need. According to the National College Attainment Network, 42% of Americans in college are concerned that they won't finish their degree. This worry comes from the yearly rise of tuition costs. To understand why this price flux happens and the options students have, we spoke to Doug Ball of University Business and Finance for details.
All of the things we spend money on rise and fall. Sometimes that requires us to change tuition. There are a lot of financial aid programs, and one of the single most important things all students should do is filling out the FAFSA, but that data can be used by the university to students who are potentially available for a number of other programs. The university does offer payment plans. Loans are an option to be considered. Work-study positions, work opportunities outside the university as well.
To understand this from the perspective of a student attending the university, we managed to speak to Luke Gear about this topic.
It was something that I didn't really look into last year very much. Getting on this year and looking online, I could see that there was a rise in tuition. How much you have to pay to live in the dorms or in the dining hall deal that you can do, there's a rise in that. So definitely for other students, I'm really concerned. Backup plan is probably something that students should have in case of an extreme rise in tuition. And I assume that, this rise in tuition isn't just going to stop this year. It's probably going to keep climbing. But still at the end of the day, it's college and it's going to be very expensive.
If you or someone you know is a student struggling with finance, visit Student Finances on the Pitt State website. For Caps 13 News, I'm Jacob Boatwright.
Back to you in the studio, Mitch.
Thanks, Jacob. With the semester in full swing at Pitt State, as new students who have never lived alone before may accidentally put themselves in danger. New students come from all across the country and the world. Some of these young adults attending PSU have never been outside of their hometowns before. This leaves many freshmen to put trust into hurtful people. Pitt Police Chief Stu Height explained how students can avoid situations like this.
Well, certainly they should, tell that person no, whatever it is, and then get away from the situation. Any time that you're in an unsafe situation, we want to know about it at University Police. Please call us, let us know about that so we can investigate it. And if there's anything we can do, please let us know.
I also recommended this guide for all PSU attendees. To all Pitt State students, if someone you know or don't know tries to convince you to do something, don't listen to them. Don't eat, drink, or follow anything they ask you to do. Instead, get as far away from them as you can and call Pitt or Crawford County Police Department.
The Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas brought together healthcare workers for its first ever HIV symposium. Caps 13 reporter AJ Kohler has more with the story.
After being discovered in 1984, HIV was basically a guaranteed death sentence. However, now in 2024, if caught early and if provided the right treatment, people can live normal lives with the disease.
It's actually really amazing that if a patient is at diagnosis, their CD4 count is above a certain level, their life expectancy is not any different than a patient without HIV.
Outside of sexual contact, HIV can be transmitted through needles. If someone has had HIV and someone else uses a needle that they used, then you can catch the virus. Over 7% of new HIV infections were transmitted this way in 2022, according to the CDC. These are why things like needle exchange programs are important for preventing the disease. Another miracle is that of pre-exposure prophylaxis, also known as PrEP.
Probably about 10, 15 years ago, we started getting into these medications, antiviral therapies that we found are able to prevent the diagnoses from ever starting or ever being diagnosed with HIV by taking these medications.
PrEP has been found to reduce HIV infections by 99% through intercourse and by 74% through drug injection. Healthcare workers also learned another very useful skill as well.
We are talking about the science of hope and how we can cultivate hope in patients' lives.
I'm AJ Kohler at Caps 13 News, signing off.
Early HIV symptoms are getting flu-like, so get tested and stay safe, gorillas.
Coming up, our weather anchor, AJ Kohler, will let us know what weather chances we have to look forward to after this short break.
It is important for everyone to follow the ways of the road to stay safe. According to the FCC, more than 3,300 people have been killed due to distracted drivers, and roughly 290,000 people have been injured. People nowadays have a temptation of looking at their phone while driving. Texting and driving has been easier now more than ever. Do your job to help keep the roads safe. Don't look at your phone, look at the road. Don't tempt fate. The text can wait.
Planet Earth. Vital to us all. And still, sometimes, some of us take it for granted. But how much can we ignore? How much can we overlook before it's too much, or before it's too late? Your choice matters. A lot of little efforts have a big impact.
Hello, gorillas. Let's get straight into the weather. After that big spurt of heat that we had last week, temperatures today are a lot cooler. Today's high is 74 with 5 miles per hour wind coming from the north-northwest. Today's low was 53 degrees. Current conditions are 70 degrees with a 5% chance of rain. As we move on in the night, temperatures will go down to 65 degrees at 7 p.m. and 61 degrees at 11 p.m. So make sure that as night goes on, you take a light jacket with you. Moving on to this week's weather, tomorrow is looking a bit better with mostly sunny skies and a high of 76. Thursday is also mostly sunny with a high of 75. Looking towards the weekend, however, expect some rain. There are high chances of rain on both Friday and Saturday, high of 68 on both days. That's all I have for weather. Coming up in sports.
Unite after one accepts a Pitt State coaching job.
We'll have that story and more for you after the break. Hey, you ready to go?
Yeah, hurry up, let's go.
Not gonna put your seatbelt on?
No, for what? We're just going around the corner.
I guess you have a point.
Yeah, I'm always right. I don't know why you never listen to me. You do this every single time. Woo!
Being buckled up during a crash helps keep you safe inside your vehicle.
Go, Gorillas on 3, 1, 2, 3.
The Pitt State football team is now home to this year with two brothers. It is not how you may think.
Rodney Koenig is a newly hired graduate assistant on the defensive side of the ball. His brother Aiden is a wide receiver on the offensive side. I had a chance to catch up with both brothers.
For Rodney Koenig, Kansas is a long way from home. Born and raised in Southern California, his journey here was far from normal. Luckily, home doesn't seem so far as Rodney starts his college coaching career with his brother Aiden by his side. Aiden is also a part of football here at PSU, not a coach, but a player. These two brothers have a special bond, one that not even a 22-hour car ride could get in the way of.
Growing up, we were pretty close. We're 14 months apart to the day, so every day we were together. Growing up, Mom stayed home, so him and I were just at home together.
For the Koenigs, football has always been a constant. Rodney's choice to follow his brother was an easy one. Starting out as a volunteer, he quickly learned his decision was a good one when he was offered a new position.
Worked with football, volunteer, did equipment, got to travel, watch my brother play, enjoyed it, and then lo and behold, this spring, I got offered the defensive GA coach position. I couldn't pass it up.
For Rodney, following his brother has been one of the best decisions he has made. Now on staff here at PSU while getting to see his brother play football has been a great experience.
Luckily got the chance to be here, watch him play, and now being on staff and watching him play and coaching, and it's been a great experience.
For the Koenigs, home and football take on a whole new meaning.
It takes a full workforce to be able to show live coverage of sports. Where does Pittsburg State get the ability to do that? Their students. Caps 13 reporter Nick Butler has the story.
The University of Pittsburg State gives an opportunity like none other. This university allows their students to get as much hands-on experience as they want with broadcasting live sports. Dr. Troy Como, the faculty advisor for this program, likes to have the students run as much as possible.
Well, hopefully if I do my job well, the students are controlling everything with the program. The idea is that I serve kind of as the executive producer, so I will plan, the overall, make sure the equipment's there, make sure our relationship with athletics is there, and then the students will kind of plan the overall production in terms of what it's going to look like and what content is going to be in the actual production of the show.
There are many positions that make a broadcast run smoothly. The students are able to get experience wherever they want, from switching cameras to the replay machine, to camera work, or the voices you may hear on your screen. Student producer Dominic Santiago explains why this opportunity is like no other.
So that's something unique to this school specifically, because a lot of D1 schools, they just farm it out to contractors and big professional companies to come in and do the broadcast, where it's an opportunity for students to learn in an environment that is very much in the professional world. It's very similar to maybe a professional game like an NFL game or an MLB game.
From beginning to end, putting on a live broadcast takes a lot of work. However, these students enjoy doing it and enjoy the experience they are getting. For Caps 13 News, I'm Nick Butler.
Finding a restaurant that can feed over 100 Pitt State football players is a challenge in Pittsburg, Kansas. I sat down with the owner of Smoky Racks, Celeste Baker, to talk more about her partnership with Pitt State football.
Pittsburgh native Celeste Baker acquired Smoky Racks in April of 2020. The Pitt State football team needed help, and owner Celeste Baker answered that call.
Well, it's kind of cool. We got a phone call to cater for some of the coaches and stuff one time. And then it just kind of led into, hey, can you cater for the football team? Which was then the biggest catering order we had done. And we did it, once or twice a week and everything. And, you get to meet the kids. They come in and they're all so nice. I mean, they're just great kids.
I asked Ashley Grimes, the director of football operations for Pitt State, how important is Smoky Racks to the football team?
The relationship between Smoky Racks and the football team is, to me, it's really important. Having those people in the community that are there to not only help us as a staff out, but also to help the players out. It's hard sometimes to find businesses that are able to feed anywhere between 80 and 100 players at a time. And having that relationship with Celeste and Smoky Racks is really important because she does a phenomenal job. She's always there to help us out. It doesn't matter if it's 24 hours before or if it's 2 weeks before. She wants our business and she wants to help the boys out. She really enjoys not only the relationships with me and the coaches, but she really enjoys building those relationships with the boys as they're coming in.
Owner Celeste Baker gave her final thoughts on what she wanted the community of Pittsburg to know.
Oh man, eat more Smoky Racks. Does that count? I don't know. The football guys come in, and even some of the other school kids that I know and everything, and I always tell them, make good grades, make good friends, and stay out of trouble.
Caps 13 News, Brandon Stegall.
Up next, the Guerrilla Activities Board hosts a tea party. We'll have that story after this.
Pittsburgh native Celeste Baker acquired Smoky Racks in April of 2020. The Pitt State football team.
If you live in a small town, there's a big chance that there's some sort of publication or broadcast group that presents local news. According to the American Journalism Project, a philanthropic organization that assists local news groups with funding, nearly 3,000 local newspapers have ceased operations since 2005. It's essential to make information easily accessible to the public. Southeast Kansas has a strong history in rural journalism. Find a way to help support it.
Severe weather can strike at any time. If you want you and your property to be safe, listen to these steps. Stay away from big metal poles like this one. This is a flagpole. You do not want to become a human lightning rod. Resources like the National Weather Service will sometimes send alerts through your phone letting you know if a severe weather event's happening. If you're on the road during a storm, make sure to drive 5 to 10 miles below the speed limit. You do not want to go off the road. And it also allows you stopping time in case any debris falls into the road. If you're going to go park your car, if you have a garage, park it in your garage. If you need a carport, park it under a carport. You do not want trees falling on your car. Make sure to stay away from windows. Thunder and lightning can both break windows, and high winds can send debris like tree branches crashing through your window. And you do not want to end up like this fence here. Now, whether it's inside or outside, when severe weather strikes, you know how to stay safe, Guerrillas.
The Guerrilla Activities Board held a tea party for students. The tea party came from a suggestion from a student last year. This is a part of the themes of events with the letter T. Other future events in this series include something with tie-dye t-shirts and a mini golf event representing a golf tee.
When they come out to our events, they can expect to feel welcome, expect something entertaining, because we are mainly the campus entertainment. We like to put on big events for the student body. So anytime you come out, even if it's a chill event, we have chill events, or we have more big party events, like foam powder paint party was also ours. So just expect to have fun.
The GAB is always looking for new events, so if you have any suggestions, you can put them in their suggestion box in the GAB office in the Overman Student Center.
The Student Association of Broadcasters, or SAB for short, have begun their weekly meeting. They are looking for students to join. The SAB are currently meeting in White Sit Hall in room 123. They are looking for students to join them in their mission of creating a Pittsburg State Guerrillas YouTube channel. Any and all students are welcome to join, no matter your major. Why should you join? President of SAB, Vale Messer, talks about that.
There's no pressure, there's no grade, and it allows them to just fuel their creativity, learn how to try new things, practice the skills that they really want to try, hone in on those, and just have fun doing it.
The Student Association of Broadcasters meet every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. For those who are interested, go to Whitesett Hall, room 123. Once again, Wednesdays at 4:30.
Here on the Pitt State, a group and community has been able to grow in large numbers in the past year. Pitt State's Christian Challenge is a group that meets once a week on campus in either the Overman Student Center or the Bicknell Family Building. They meet on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. It is a place and event where all are welcome and encouraged to attend. The Christian Challenge is a challenge that helps people share and learn the gospel. The challenge is for anyone who wishes to meet a group of people that will welcome them for whoever they are. The meeting gets started by a worship of 2 to 3 songs. It's then followed by a lesson taken from the Bible. The Christian Challenge also presents good opportunities to college students for attending things that will also help them grow in their faith.
We've got to see God do some amazing things. It's kind of exploded this last couple of years. And so we are a place where everyone can come, everyone can be welcome. We love college students. We want to see them flourish.
If you or anyone you know is interested in growing your faith, learning about the gospel, or becoming a part of a welcoming community that wants to help the Pitt State campus flourish, join the challenge at Pittsburg State University. You can also follow the Christian Challenge on Instagram at Christian Challenge PSU. You can also get all the information needed for meetings on Guerrilla Engage.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Butler.
And I'm Mitch Adams. And from all of us at Caps 13, we hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time.